I'm gonna push back on a argument that I tend to have with a lot of my friends. And you said there's a split between Paul McCartney songs and John Lennon songs. I find the split for myself. I love both McCartney and Lennon songs. My split is pre-Rubber Soul, the early, pop songs versus the later, more experimental, goofy, fun stuff. And I go for the later stuff any day of the week.
Well, and I always have to check myself because, George Harrison wrote some of the most beautiful songs in the Beatle catalog. When my guitar gently weeps, go down the list. So, I think sometimes we forget about the influence of George in the catalog. Of course, as a musician, he was a wonder. But yeah, of course, of course, you evolve, right? You evolve from "She Loves You" to "Lucy in the Sky" to "Hey Jude," of course, and that was one of the beautiful things of the Beatles, of watching them kind of evolve. But I always tell this joke, in my keynotes. It's like, imagine the best thing about, I think, the Beatles is you had two of the greatest songwriters ever in the same band. And that competition, that maybe passive aggressive competition, and especially you can kind of, with Lennon being the curmudgeon and McCartney being the happy-go-lucky,